Hello and welcome to my channel. And I'm doing this video to explain what this channel is. And I'm going to try to be as quick as possible and as direct as possible. So originally, this is just and it still is, my personal video channel where I would put up originally video game snippets, right? And one of the big things was there was this game called Wii Music that was published for the Wii, obviously, by Nintendo, directed by Kazumi Totaka. And I do believe that Kazumi Totaka is the face of KK Slider, if you know, is based on Kazumi. But anyway, he created this game, Wii Music, which is an ingenious game that went against the grain of the typical Guitar Hero game, which was, colors lighting up on a screen and you pressing a button like a robot, as you're told to do. Instead, Wii Music was a creative game where Kazumi, being, in my opinion, a genius, an absolute genius, created this game where all of the chords and melodies and also some random notes that fit in with the chords and the keys were all programmed into the songs, and then you shook or pressed buttons on the controllers to get stuff to come out. And it had some very smart features, like, for example, hold the note. So if you hit a note and you want to continue hitting that note, you're holding it and stuff like that. It was absolutely wild and insane. And what happened was there's a brain dead publication called IGN that's full of idiots that, unless they're spoon-fed something, they absolutely don't understand what's happening. And they lambasted the game and they made fun of it because they're morons, right? But there was one smart person, Jennifer Sao, I hope I'm pronouncing it, Tsao, hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, at 1UP, was like the only intelligent person in the conversation, and she gave the game an A- on 1UP, and which I think is fair because there were limitations in the game and there were problems with the drums, for example. So, you could even give it a B based on that, right? No matter how ingenious it was. But she understood it, and she must have an understanding of music, right? From a theory perspective and all of that, because she was the only person that understood what was going on. But anyway, I made a bunch of these videos showing what you can do with this weird game. But the game was going to go nowhere, and the reason was people want to hear modern music, but there's very little harmony in modern music, so they couldn't really put a lot of modern music on it because that's a whole section of the song that's going to disappear because there's no harmonies and stuff like that. But anyway, great job, Nintendo. And so I was making videos and I was recording stuff with my kids in Wii Music because, I didn't have time to do what I do now. And I put up a bunch of videos, and it's funny, after a while I started taking them all down. I'm like, okay, this is a bit much. But then I started receiving messages from people saying, why did you take down this video? I use that as a reference for what I want to achieve in this game. I was like, oh, okay. So I put them all back up. So those are out there. And then I played Resident Evil and stuff like that. But what happened was the pandemic came, and my kids are growing up, and so I actually started to play instruments again. I used to play piano when I was younger, and so I started to I bought a bass and I started to play bass, and then I was playing keyboards and I was writing songs, and then I got a guitar, and now I'm writing music, and I haven't had much success with it, but it's a great hobby. And then the other thing that happened was I'm a huge fan of this band, the Bay City Rollers, and every documentary that comes out about the Bay City Rollers, none of them talk about how great they were as songwriters and how many great albums they had. Instead, they talk about, stuff outside of the music, or they actually claim that they weren't good musicians and all this other stuff, and it's ridiculous. And so the last documentary that came out, I was saying, I really hope this documentary finally says, you know, that they were a great band. And it didn't. Regardless of what the documentary was about, once again, it didn't. So I made my own video saying, you know, the real secret of the Bay City Rollers is that they were a great band. They wrote a ton of great songs and they had a bunch of great albums. And so through that, I made so many friends. Like, it's just shocking. And I've been working, like, doing small bits on the radio, on, like, you know, we're talking community radio here, right? And I've made a bunch of other videos since then, just because it just really sparked this for me. And some of the videos are popular and some of them aren't, whatever. But I've also made some enemies within the Bay City Rollers community by saying that they were a good band. And sometimes I have to make videos about that, you know. And I'm getting real sick of it because these are people with grudges that, I you know, have nothing to do with me. I don't know why they're even talking to me, right? Like, if your case is that good, why are you talking to me about this stuff? Why are you sending someone after me, right? And so that sets me off a little bit, much like IGN sent me off. Now this, I'm going to call it BS, sets me off. And yeah, but I like information about the Bay City Rollers, and it's been so great over the past, this has only been 5 months or so. Maybe longer, 6 months, I don't know. But I've been getting all this great information about the Bay City Rollers and about Eric Faulkner. And then, you know, I learned about his Bandcamp, his music on Bandcamp, and it's just fantastic. And then just recently I learned that Duncan has music on Bandcamp as well. So now I have to go through all of that, which is great. So all this is very, very good. And I don't want to paint it in a negative picture, but, you know, I do get sick of people that have an axe to grind and think that they're going to grind that axe towards me. No, you're not. And if you continue with this stuff, I'm going to do the videos that I'd like to do, that I usually keep my mouth shut about, because I don't really have an axe to grind with anyone. But it's getting very close to me having an axe to grind with a few fucking people, right? And I don't want to do that. Coming up, if you're watching this in 2024, January, I do have some interesting videos coming up where I am going to have some footage of the Bay City Rollers. Hopefully, I'm working on that right now. I'm very excited. I want to give out to the Bay City Rollers community. I don't want to take away. You know, I'm trying to provide. You know, some people are there to criticize. Some people are there to attack. That's not me. I think they were a great band. I think that everyone that was in the band was great. And I have so many good things to say about all of them. I have some problems with some people, whatever. So I'm going to continue with that. And I'm also going to continue writing songs. And one day I'll be happy with something I write. I don't know. It's rough. And anyone else out there who writes indie music, you know what it's like. So that's this weird oddball of a channel. Thanks for watching if you watched any of my videos. This is a great hobby for, I have to essentially say, for an old man with a YouTube channel. That's what I've become. But I'm okay with that. Thanks. Have a good night.